Welcome back, everyone. This is Akinar here with more Elden Ring, and it's been a few days since I got to record last, but I'm still honestly kind of riding the high from last time. It was so much fun. If you did not get to check it out, for whatever reason, I highly recommend Part 31 of our Elden Ring adventure. You may notice from the armor set that we have now donned that there were some shocking and surprising events, a chain of events set into motion by Hyetta, deathbed companion, resulting in the death of D. Rest in peace, hunter of those who live in death. Perhaps we will meet again, who knows, in Dark Souls, who knows, in Elden Ring. Maybe we will meet D's twin, which has been suggested by the armor set. I'm guessing a twin sister, based on the figure we see in silver, but that's just a guess. We'll find out. We now know, though, Hyetta has definitely skyrocketed in the NPC hierarchy. I don't know if we can quite say that she is public enemy number 1 in Elden Ring, but she's definitely going up the list of hated figures. It's hard to say. We need to know more. We know that Godwin is somehow connected. There is so much of the story still to uncover, and I'm looking forward to doing that. We also got to participate in the Festival of Radon, which was so much fun. What a cool boss. What a amazing boss design. This big old dude with the two big curved swords wielding the power of gravity, and then he transforms into a meteor. Dude literally turns into a meteor for the start of phase 2. What a great boss. And then you throw in the Jolly Cooperation, turned up to 11. Okay, not quite 11 NPCs that we had brought along to the battle, but not that far off. Blithe, coolest dude on the planet. The Iron Fist Alexander and all the warriors that he was carrying. The Finger Maiden. Sir Jaren, who we did actually have Sir Jaren's name was hinted at back in Fort Gale. There was the spirit that I saw in my footage that had mentioned Sir Jaren's name. So many friends that were helping us in that absolutely epic boss encounter. I can't say necessarily that it's my favorite FromSoft. It's definitely up there. There's sometimes a recency bias that plays in, but I'm anxious to get back to the fight eventually. We're not going to be doing that right away. We have some other things. We're going to be turning our attention to Liurnia. We have a few different places now that we've started in Caelid. We've breached the Altus Plateau, but it's also, I think, time that we turned our attention back to Liurnia. Although I am anxious to get back to the Radon fight. I have some ideas about what we can do differently, potentially. One of those things, as I like to say, fresh brain OP. And as I was watching back the footage, I realized, yo, I have Golden Vow. I have Blessing's Boon. These things that I can give to my allies. And here I was, silly me, every time just applying it before going in the sending gate. Selfish, buffing myself only, selfishly, and then Golden Vow was just running out before we even got to the boss. So we got some things to change next time we get back to cross paths with Starscourge Radon. We're going to start, though, with our usual bit of housekeeping. We're here at the Church of Dragon Communion. Not because we are picking up a Dragon Communion spell right now, but I had remembered, I will pick up a mushroom, but I had remembered that there was a message up here that I had completely forgotten about, and I wanted to check this message again, because I think it said something about a cathedral, did it not? There it is. Far to the east, you'll find the Cathedral of Dragon Communion, a place where draconic power gathers. The Cathedral of Dragon Communion. So I wanted, now that we have uncovered more of the map, I wanted to see exactly, wow, okay, this message, if I am taking, I can only presume that the direction of this message, it feels like it's oriented in this direction. Which means it's basically, it's essentially east. It is almost literally east. And if that is the case, is it really pointing way out over here? It's not clear to me that this is a part of the world map that is going to be revealed. There is, we see these clouds, which I'm just trying to decipher the map, doing this, you know, blindly, not knowing what the far reaches of the map are going to hold. But, okay, we see a very, ooh, interesting. This looks like, actually, this has 8 sides to it. Is this a divine tower right here? This is the first I've noticed this. I thought it was just a little island at first. Maybe it is, but it could be like a divine tower that's just barely sticking out. But I don't know how far this Altus Plateau, the capital, how far this is going to extend. Like, conceivably, this could be the far eastern reach of the map. And maybe the church, or not church, but the cathedral. We know that this is the Dragon Barrow, don't we? It could be referring to this area. Maybe there is a Cathedral of Dragon Communion here. Or maybe this map just really is this massive and there is going to be something over here to uncover. And we reach that by, who knows, Sending Gate, underground, you know, maybe there's some connection through the underground that we get here. Like, I'm presuming at this point, we still have not reached or returned to the beginning of the game. What was this place called? The Chapel of Anticipation. I originally thought we would find some sort of underground or undersea passage through Castle Stormvale. I could have missed something, but I don't think that was there. So now I presume we would be finding this or reaching it through the underground. Okay, I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent. Where did I originally... all I wanted to do was just think a little bit about where this Cathedral of Dragon Communion might be. Ponder the distant reaches of the map. It is kind of cool when we zoom out here that we have uncovered. We've got Limgrave, and then we have Caelid. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I'm also seeing this here, like these little... I don't know, it's kind of like a scroll that is supposed to have a title associated with it. Maybe there's actually some language, theoretically, that's been scribbled on this scroll, and then it's being translated here into Limgrave. Maybe, maybe not, but either way, there is a scroll that is kind of the title card, if you will, for these major sections of the map. And this one here, we just don't have the name yet. Could this be Liurnia, or would this be Altus Plateau, or could it be something else here in the middle? Okay, there's still so much to freaking do in this game. Just wanted to check that little thing and start to... I'm still wrapping my mind around the lands between, you know? Let me check my notes. Okay, let me also make note of something that also happened last time. We had our bit of scuffed UI, which has been fixed, because it turns out that the problem was the mod that I am using. I am using a mod which does display the PS4 button prompts, where normally you would see Xbox prompts when playing on PC. So that mod was not up to date. So when the pre-patch came out, which changed things in our Elden Ring UI, and I have seen these menu options here, which I don't know that don't remember if we covered these last time, but I had seen these off camera. Mark new items and show recent items tab, which we did, you know, we were exploring that, the recent items tab that we saw here last time, but everything was kind of a little bit scuffed. And now it's not, because I updated my mod. You would think that the guy who... Here was this thing that was, I think, last time called Icon. You would think, as many years as I've played World of Warcraft, that it would have occurred to me, when there's a pre-patch for a new expansion, you gotta update your mods. Silly me. We don't have to worry about that anymore, even though it was, you know, all of our incantation icons that were mismatched. That could be an interesting challenge run idea, you know? Having to play with with screwy icons. Okay. That is now fixed, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Hopefully you all got some laughs out of that. Some good Pepe laughs as the YouTuber was unaware. Let's Player lacks critical information. Okay, there was another idea that I had. Cool, very, very quickly. I want to just, we're not going to be focusing on the Altus Plateau today, but I did want to just quickly check with Bach. Is there a chance that the DLC changed anything with our friend Bach and the
Bach the seamster at your service,
the garment altering?
Ready to make adjustments to your garments.
Is there any way that this changed? No. Wait. Oh, interesting. We have the ability to change the twinned armor. We could make some alterations here, but it looks like we would be reducing all of the damage negation to make it a little bit lighter. And we would lose our cape. We would lose I mean, the cape is like, that was the thing that cinched the deal. I want my cape.
Go in, so please.
Okay. All right. Unfortunately, it looks like, I think we'll see the same thing probably if we sit at the altar garments. Why is it only... This feels like such an oversight that you're not able to alter anything but these very just handful of torso chest pieces. Huh. Strange. Okay, I thought maybe there was something that was added, a feature upgrade that came along with the DLC content, but it doesn't seem like it. Let's quickly head over to the Gale Tunnel. I did see there was a smithing stone or something that we want to go to the rear entrance, actually. Near the rear, there was I think a smithing stone that I neglected to pick up. You might also notice that I am toting around this, the magma worm's sword. Where was this thing? I could have sworn there was one that was very, very close to the exit of this place, but I might be misremembering. I'm not sure. Not totally sure. Oh, that guy blows up. Whoops. Ah, there it is. Okay. It was over by these guys. Okay. All right. We are trying out the magma guillotine here because it didn't... So he sounds the horn, but the guys don't come down the ladder. Hello? Never mind. I think they are. Okay. Let's get out of here. Smithy Stone 4. Got. And we got to play around a little bit with the magma guillotine because we picked up this spell, Flame Grant Me Strength, which I did not use here, but I should have, because it turns out that it actually buffs our weapon damage at least, and I presume our fire spells, by quite a bit. The little bit of testing that I did, at least with our looking at the status screen, the right armament is at 432 now. I think when the Flame of Grant Me Strength goes away, it goes back down to like 400. Now the downside, it's a significant boost, it looks like, because it boosts both physical and fire. So this sword gets it goes from oh my gosh, it goes from 360 to 432. That's even a bigger boost than I remembered. The downside is that it only lasts for 30 seconds. It's a very short-lived buff, but that's a significant buff. So I kind of want to play around with it. It was one idea that I had for maybe taking on Radon again, but we're not going to do that right away. And I think maybe the better idea with Radon is going to be just giving Golden Vow to all our allies. It's like the best, and not just Golden Vow, but my favorite spell in the world, the Blessing's Boon Trickle Heal. What's better than a Trickle Heal? Giving everybody, all your friends, a Trickle Heal. Okay. Where am I going next here? Oh, we're continuing the housekeeping here with an item that really slipped through the cracks. Shout out to Johannan pointing out in the comment section that there was A sacrificial axe that did not, that got passed over. I was actually looking through, I often, not often, but sometimes go through off camera and just reread items that I picked up. Items that had just been in my inventory, just to see what I missed, or, you know, what details are there that make sense now later into the game, like maybe an item that has mentioned, I don't know, what's a good example of this, like the mark of the centipede that shows up in, I'm actually not sure. I think I'm getting some dialogue from Roger in my head. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I go through from time to time and I check out items and their descriptions to see what new information or what I can absorb that is new. And I saw this thing and I was like, what? What? I don't remember this. Sacrificial axe? We picked this up from Deathbird. One of the Deathbirds, I think the one that was in Weeping Peninsula. Hatchet used in ancient sacrificial rite. A Deathbird is depicted as a malevolent deity. The power of the rite yet lingers. A small amount of FP is restored upon slaying a foe. Interesting. You actually can get not just a trickle heal from some of your weapons. I don't remember what weapon that we had previously. I want to say, I think it was this one. Yeah. The Great Horn Hammer that we get from the followers, the ancestral followers, restores a small amount of HP, but you can do the same thing. You can do a mana drain in addition to a life drain. It's really not a trickle heal so much as it is a drain effect. So that's cool. Wild Strikes, Swing Armament, Wild Abandon. All right, and the artwork there is pretty cool. The Deathbird with the open mouth and then the axe attached to it. Once again, more of a quality weapon build, but at the same time, all these weapons that only scale with strength and dexterity, supposedly, they are technically all candidates for an Ash of War that can change the scaling to include Faith. We actually need to check. Oh, we should check this Flaming Strike. Does this also grant, does it say? It says it grants the fire affinity. Does fire scale with Faith? I think it does, because fire incantations scale with Faith, but we should check at Smithing Master Hugh. The other thing that I am aware of, but I just have not tried it yet, but I do know that this is in the back of my mind. Just want you all to be aware that we have this Iron Wet Blade, which is supposed to grant us an additional affinity, right? So we get even more scaling. So we've been playing the game most likely with weapons that are suboptimal or not as powered up as they could be based on the Ashes of War that we could apply to them. But I think I mentioned this last time. I think I mentioned the idea of giving Flaming Strike to one Uchigatana and then Sacred Blade to the other. Sounds like a really sick idea. Lifesteal Fist. This is the Dark Hand. I was a little unsure about what that was called in Dark Souls, but this is the Dark Hand, right? Okay. We're going through the housekeeping list here and getting the things done that just, you know, we got to cover all of our bases as we try to do. I'm looking at my notes and trying to remember if there's anything else that we want to cover here. I think that is our housekeeping. And now what we are going to do is turn our attention back to Liurnia, because it's one of the places just on our list that obviously we spent a lot of time in Liurnia, but there is still so much more to do. And as I did mention last time, there was a hint, a gentle nudge that I received from one of my trusted advisors. I'm trying to organize my thoughts here, and also how I want to approach things. I think we're just going to go to this lake-facing cliff. Well, I'll give you what I was doing. I had done some backtracking, so I had thought I had gone. Supposedly, I had gone to each of the sites of grace here in Liurnia, trying to find something that I had missed, something that was missing because we had not done the Weeping Peninsula until much later. And I thought I had gone to every single warp point. And then I thought to myself, you know, does Liurnia also include this little passageway that goes around Castle Stormvale? Is it possible there is somebody along this path that I had missed? So I came to check this out. I ran or rode Torrent down through the pass and back. And as I was headed back, I did spot somebody. I think that is by this site of grace. They were far enough away where I did not get a good view of them, so I don't know yet who this is for sure. But I want to say there is an NPC here. Okay, and it looks like somebody new. Or is it? This looks like Irina. What? What the hell? Or is it somebody related to Irina? The outfit is similar, but I don't remember Irina having this cloak. Wait a minute, what is going on here? Okay, well, so I had wondered if maybe it was Edgar that was going to be here. I also wondered if maybe Vare, we have, it's been a while since we have seen Vare, but I was expecting to find him somewhere out in the lake. The Rose Church. Boy, it is so clear right now. We can see much farther than normal, it feels like. And I'm seeing some things out in the lake, like is that a Greatsword Memorial that I'm seeing way over here? Oh, this is just some trees. Never mind. There's a minor Erdtree over here. There's a church. There is... Ooh, there might be one of those mysterious places of erudition where erudition is required. Okay. As oftentimes happens in Elden Ring, I get distracted easily. This game is gorgeous. There are so many things to do, so many things to think about. Why don't we talk to an NPC first and see what the hell is going on?
Hello? Is someone there? My name is Hyetta, and I'm journeying in search of the distant light. If I might be so bold as to ask, would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me? My eyesight has been weak since birth, you see. I can't tell which way I'm supposed to go next, but when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel a distant light in the back of my eyes. It will lead me to my true duty as a finger maiden.
Of course. Of course. It all makes sense now. Okay, it doesn't all make sense. Let's not go too far. I don't know what the hell giving you a Shabriri grape is going to do. But this makes a lot more sense than what has been going on with the playthrough so far. I can see now, in retrospect, based on various things that we now know, the natural progression of the game, it does seem, is intended for the player to go, well, cover all of Limgrave first, and then go through Stormvale Castle, and then go into Liurnia. Because if you do that, you naturally get a Shabriri grape at the end of Stormvale Castle, and then are introduced directly to the NPC who can accept one. Now, part of me wants to read the Shabriri grape again, but I think we know what it says. It just says, give to the blind maiden. I want to read it again. Hold on just one moment. We are going to give you the grape because there's nothing else that we can do with it. But I want to take one more look. Okay, she's not too upset. So let's check out the grape one more time. Our blind maiden. How long have you been waiting for us? Also, I don't know. I don't know what I was looking at. I could have sworn that off camera I warped to this side of Grace. Maybe I didn't, but I thought I warped here and looked around, but apparently I did not look carefully enough. Either didn't warp here or didn't look carefully enough, one way or the other. We got there. Shout out to Sparky, my trusted advisor, for the nudge. Hopefully this gets us on the right path. Yeah, at least in terms of Shabriri Graves. A yellowing, oozing eyeball of the infirm. The surface is shriveled and the inside is squishy, not unlike a large, overly ripe grape. Give to the blind maiden to guide her to the distant light. Okay, I've already kind of forgotten some of the details in what she said, because I was just kind of relieved that we finally got here. But maybe she will give us more to the story.
Hello?
Or she
Is
repeats.
someone there? Would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me? I'm on a pilgrimage in
Okay.
search of the distant light. And when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel the light in the back of my eyes.
That's one hell of a drug there. One hell of a trip we're giving you, aren't we? Okay. Shabriri grape time. Go.
Oh, many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
As you wish. Another gesture. Man, we have so many different, like, bow variants. As you wish. Okay. It's just, it's the same bow, except not quite as low to the ground. Careful where you point that sword, by the way. So she does look like Irina, and the voice is kind of similar. The accent, I feel like was I don't know exactly what part of the Isles that accent originates from, but either way, the blind maiden is now able to experience the distant light? Question mark? What is that? Tell me more.
You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
That clears things up completely. Why must everything always be confusing? Hold on, let me just make sure that's the extent of the dialogue. Yeah, okay. Just 100% being sure before I sit at the site of grace to see if we can get anything to progress. And she's gone. That was it. Just like that, the blind maiden is out of here. Now, okay. Now, could she have, well, obviously she's gone somewhere else. That much is obvious. But where? Can we sleuth out where she might have proceeded to? She wouldn't have gone down the road to hang out with Topes. Realistically, who really wants to hang out with Topes? I'm sorry, my dude, but you are a kind of a Debbie Downer. There's a reason that the people avoid you at the parties. The Rhea Lucaria parties. Where would we go to find... I mean, maybe there's nowhere that we've been so far that would actually be the next stop for the blind maiden. She's going for the distant light. The distant light. I'll try to maybe pick out or think through a couple spots where she might. I don't think she would go to Jarburg. Just a hunch, but I could be wrong. The Artist Shack? I don't think so, but we'll go to the Artist Shack real quick. You never know. The Artist Shack could be a place of... Actually, we should go to the Church of Vows. That's where we should go. It doesn't look like anybody's here. Let's go to the Church of Vows. Just checking a couple places to see if Like, it would be very straightforward if one of these places happened to have the Blind Maiden, and then we would know where she is. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I don't know exactly what is... there's no way she'd be hanging out at the converted Fringe Tower. I don't think so. I don't think that's how we solve that conundrum. Let's go to the East Rea Lucaria Gate. Who knows? She may have already, like, progressed somewhere up into the Altus Plateau. She may be nowhere close to where we are. She might not be anywhere near Liurnia anymore. But I just want to at least look in a couple notable locations before we move on. But I think the next thing to do... The next thing to do, then, it is nighttime. Why don't we go ahead and take on the Knights Cavalry? The Knights Cavalry that I found down in this area. Because now I think we are ready. We are finally ready to begin actually making some inroads into the western side of Liurnia. It does feel like this is probably the natural progression that we were meant to follow. Is that, you know, we've made some inroads into Caled, we've made some inroads into the Altus Plateau, but probably, technically speaking, Liurnia is probably where we're supposed to be headed next. Okay, let's do Flame Grant Me Strength, and then some Dragon Fire. Maybe. Get a little bit closer here. That was not as effective as I was hoping it would be. That was much better. Okay. I want to reapply the Flame Grant Me Strength now. I like that it's really difficult to interrupt us. If not impossible to interrupt us when we are doing that Magma Guillotine. The only issue... I did not mean to reapply my Flame Grant Me Strength, but maybe it's a good thing. When he gets far away from us, that would be a great time to do the Dragonfire, right? He gives us a lot of room. That was the other reason why I thought maybe Dragonfire might be a good call here. I thought he was going to go farther away. Here we go. Questionable. What do I have in my my Flask of Wondrous Physic? I do not remember. No, he went with the stupid little headbutt. Okay. Dragonfire, not the best call against this guy. He's not super susceptible to fire, but I kind of like the Magma Guillotine. We just probably need to focus on reapplying our fire damage. Right? And also check our Flask of Wondrous Physic here. Let's think about what were our flash charges. 7-3 is probably decent, but we can go, I think, if we're not using Dragonfire, then let's just go with 9. Let's go with 8-2. I didn't see how many flasks we had left, but that, I think we still had a couple in the bank. I do have Flame Shrouding Crack Tier on here, as well as Faith Knot Crystal Tier. Is that what I want? Or do I want to give myself something else? Like Green Burst. If we're using this big old Magma Sword, we do need stamina to swing around our sword. So that could be... We're already getting a massive damage boost from Flame Grant Me Strength. So maybe we'll give ourselves a little bit more maneuverability. In terms of trinkets, I had not talked about the fact that I am wearing the Star Scourge Heirloom, which does allow me to... It does allow me to one-hand this sword, but there could be some better options here. There's lots of different options, in fact, but I don't know what would be the best one for any particular encounter just yet, because this is sort of a new setup, as we have so many different build options that we're experimenting with. Let's stick with it for now. Maybe... We're going to stick with this for now. Let's go, and we actually need to redo the... Make it night again. Change it back to night so we can fight the Knights Cavalry. And then we warp to the Gate Town Bridge. This was the area. There's still more in this area that we need to explore. We had kind of left this... let me actually just get my runes first. But we had not explored this area, this little... The spot that was past... Wait a second, it's already nighttime? Or he is already back. I did not need to warp. He just appears. I didn't... Maybe that was the Bell-Bearing Hunter? The presence of... Okay. That jump attack is kind of similar to the weapon art. Oh, I forgot to drink my flask. Too late. No. How did you hit me? It's a little bit awkward having to reapply this buff. Just a little bit awkward. But we do a lot of damage if we reapply it. Why? Was I out of stamina there? What happened? I guess we're hitting the horse there. One more hit. I did not... I pressed the wrong button there, but that's fine. I'm okay with tanking a hit, because we just needed to get one more to down. That was 5,600 runes. That could have been worth popping a gold pickled foulfoot, because now we are not going to be running short of those. But either way, we have an Ash of War Ice Spear. Let's check that out. New items. And we now have the fun little icon, which I don't think we could see last time because of my out-of-date mod. Not sure, but Ice Spear. Love the art on this. Does grant the cold affinity. I wonder what that's going to scale with. Skill of the warriors who served Lunar Princess Rani. Look at that. Spin armament to release cold magic, then channel it into a piercing spear of ice. Usable on pole arms, capable of thrusting, and twin blades. Another really... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. An amazing sounding Ash of War. I'm not going to say the other word that starts with a C. And I was on the cusp of saying. Let's go rest. Let's go rest. Knights Cavalry down. And now we can explore the rest of this area. And just see what there might be to find before we head out across the dilapidated bridge here and get the map for West Liurnia. We are a ways away still from leveling up. But maybe we can... Maybe there will be some enemies. Some enemies to kill in the vicinity here that we can grind a little bit more toward that next level. Knights Cavalry down. We pick up an Ash of War associated with Princess Rani. Is Rani supposed to be a demigod? Is that a fucking rune bear? Yay. We're back in Liurnia now. So the rune bears are gonna be... Oh boy. Well, maybe I can... Let's see how Dragonfire works in this case. And I think we're gonna do our Flask of Wondrous Physic here because we're gonna go rest again. Dude, that does not do enough damage to you. Jesus Christ. I was supposed to drink. I did not mean to summon Torrent. That was not my idea. Rolled way too early. We're definitely a little bit better equipped than we were last time. We're not, you know, we've gotten more HP. We're not taking nearly as much damage from the Liurnia bears. We have maybe finally leveled up to be able to face them appropriately. That extra swing that we get, or the extra input with the magma guillotine, is much more effective against you because you actually are stood next to us, as opposed to the Knights Cavalry, who was riding on by. Okay, all right, man. Ooh. Now I will also add the information here that I have been playing on a fresh file, and so I have been practicing a little bit more against the bears, the rune bears in the Weeping Peninsula. So I am much more, and I guess I have been doing a little bit of farming as well. I will admit to booting up the game here on the main file for like half an hour or something, and doing a little bit of crafting materials farming, which included some beast blood. Went back to the bears in Weeping Peninsula, doing some farming and learning their moves in the process. Sliver of meat, great. So we are much more attuned to the rune bear shenanigans than we used to be. Not to mention, in addition to being just leveled up. So that feels good. Okay, man, there are so many things to explore, so many things to do in this Liurnia lake. And we are about to jump into that. As I just make sure that we have checked off everything here in this little... what do we call this? This little carve-out. Some root resin down here. Do I hear another rune bear? Oh, just a regular. Just a regular one. No big deal. We've talked to the spirit before, but let's go ahead and get your dialogue again. Because I think you do mention Rhea Lucaria. And I think he talks about the stone crown. Hallowed Hall dedicated to the study of magic. Hallowed Hall. Why shut your doors to me? Am I barred from donning the crown of stone? Yeah. The crown of stone. Do you really want that crown of stone? Is that really something that, you know, you want to be able to write home about? Seems like it would be a little suffocating, if I'm being honest. Any other rune bears around here? Anything of note? Probably just we have found what there is to find. And now it is time to turn our attention. Okay, there's some wolves out here. There's a little bit more to do. I need to go to this. There we go. That actually kind of worked out. I'm out of mana. Doesn't quite have the range to get the other wolf. Probably overkill to be using Dragonfire against you all. But I wanted to be able to try it out with my Flame Grant Me Strength. Which it feels like a really fun spell. And I'm liking it so far. Actually... Have we explored this way? Or was this... Have I been here before? Have I been here? I guess this leads out to the opening that goes to the artist shack. So we kind of have been here before. I just don't know if I explored exactly this little corner of the map. I probably segmented it off and said, nope, we're going to explore there later, which we have done. So there we go. Okay. Let's go and let's just warp to the checkpoint here. And I think we're ready to go for the map. Going to quickly reapportion flasks. Flasks, flasks, flasks. I like 7-3. Especially if we are... Let's think about what spells we might... I'm going to change from Dragonfire, and instead let's go to Whirl of Flame. That's the one I think. We could put it entire... We could make everything... Let's first of all bring back our favorite, the Trickle Heal. Okay, but I want it to be... Hold on. Let me organize things here. I'd like to be able to apply my buff first, and then go to Whirl of Flame. And then we can have either Flame Sling or Catch Flame as a backup option. We're not... We could potentially give ourselves access to Flame of the Fell God through the Flask of Wondrous Physic, as well as a couple pieces of gear that boost our faith. And there's the Marika Scar Seal. Like, there's ways for us to artificially boost our faith to meet the requirement for this. Might play around with that at some point. What do I want? I'm gonna get myself the ranged option, and then we will go Blessing Spoon. We're kind of going with a fire aesthetic here. I don't know if it matches the the vibe of the D outfit, the twinned armor. But I think it works. Oh, you know what I just thought of? There's one more spot we could check here regarding the Blind Maiden. The Church of Inhibition. Is there any chance that she would be here? The only reason I thought of this... Well, the main reason I thought of this is because of you. Another Blind Maiden, potentially? But it doesn't look like it. So, okay. It could be that maybe I need to do a backtrack through the areas that we've already been, but it could also be that she has just moved on to some place that we have not yet visited. I'm hoping that's the case, because, you know, there's a lot in this game to backtrack. Even in one zone, even in a single zone like Liurnia, or even just the eastern part of Liurnia. But, it is exciting at least that we have made some progress with an NPC that we were meant to find a long, long time ago. Better late than never. Okay, let's try to make it to the map, shall we? We might take one more look here at the uncovered, well, not uncovered, but the portions of the map that we have already uncovered. There were some markings I know that we made, or so we left some markers. I think we left this one here for the mausoleum. And I did come back here off camera to verify, and I think that I did find that there is a late night as opposed to just regular old night. And I think that is the time at which the mausoleum sort of becomes inactive. The bell definitely stops ringing, it stops moving around. But what do we do from there? I don't know. I don't know yet. There is, I think, one of these phantoms. There's like the trident / candle holder that has a phantom associated with it. I think that's marked here. I think I just marked one of the Miranda blooms here. I don't know why I marked that. It seemed notable at the time, but I don't remember exactly why. It just looks different. And what did we mark here? I think we marked a spirit spring that gets us up to this part of the plateau, which is good. I had forgotten about that and was thinking that, you know, in my mind as I was kind of pre-planning how we would do a search through the western part of Liurnia, maybe we would want to start here from the Everjail and work our way along this part, because I think the Erdtree, the minor Erdtree, is supposed to be over here. Okay, let's head for... I'm actually going to put a beacon there. That is a little bit easier to make out. And let's start to make our way... Maybe I should level up first. Might be a good idea just to go ahead and level up, because we have a lot of runes in our stash. Let's... Man, it's almost perfect. We don't have to be perfect here. Let's just get 4K runes plus a little bit extra. We have this big old golden rune 9. Let's pop that. Why don't we? We'll do 3,800 and then another 400 on top of that. Let's get... Got to get used to the fact that recent items... So you could... Got to get used to the fact that recent items is the first thing that appears on your... when you go to the menu now. Let's level up. The question is, what do we level? What do we level up? Faith? That does actually give us a point in our magma sword. While strength does not. Neither strength nor dexterity actually boost our weapon damage, which is interesting. We could try to keep endurance up to snuff. We had balked at putting a point in endurance because we were only getting to 111 stamina. I presume we're not close to the soft cap yet on endurance. It would be really surprising if we were somehow already there. It's always been like at least 40, I think, in previous games. 29. Is that what I'm seeing? 29 from Vigor. We're still getting pretty good returns on HP as well. Having a little more HP against Radon would probably not be a bad thing. Or just keep going with Mind. I'm just going to focus on Mind and Faith for now. We're now that we're focusing on... I don't know. Maybe Endurance is good. I should do Endurance, actually. It's because we get max equip load. We also get max equip load. It lets us have a little bit more options at our disposal. Let's just go Endurance. And no matter what we put a point into, I say it every time now, we are on the cusp of getting a respec option. Once we find Renala, that's all we have to do. For now, all we have to do is find a map. Let's just focus on that much. And hopefully not getting eaten by giant lobsters or whatever else we might find in this lovely, lovely Liurnia lake. Already we're being greeted here with what appears to be a new enemy. Let's light our lantern first, and then we're going to do some scoping out of... What the heck are these guys? Oh, that shield looks familiar. I feel like we've picked up that shield. Are they... We got to get a closer look. We're too far away. Oh, okay. I was... Look at the eyes. Okay, I really did not... I misread how your face was composed from a distance. You look... You have kind of an alien look to you. Or maybe a salamander-esque look. There's also a funky new type of Miranda Bloom. Oh, maybe you are a magic Miranda Bloom. Oh, hi. The welcoming committee is here. Don't mind me. Just passing through. Pay no attention. We'll deal with those guys at some point. The Academy Gate Town. We've reached Academy Gate Town. And it looks like there is a Side of Grace directly next to the map. Let's get our beacon off the map. And then unlock. Touch the Side of Grace. Will this be... It does look like it has a... let's go ahead and rest. It has a Ray of Grace associated with it. Which always makes me wonder if we're going to get a chance to talk to Melina. Not this time. Academy Gate Town, though. Oh, it's got a new... Is that a new logo? I think it is. We can take this marker off the map now. And let's pick up a map. It is time. Whoa! Okay, I was expecting Liurnia West. Not Liurnia North. How much of the map does that uncover? Liurnia North. Interesting, there is still a significant portion here that has yet to be uncovered. That's a bit surprising. Liurnia North. I presume that this is no longer Liurnia, that this should be part of... I don't know if the Altus Plateau is thought to extend all the way down here, but this feels connected to... I can see maybe the border of a plateau in some regard. This feels like this is connected to Ronnie's whereabouts. I'm guessing that Ronnie is somewhere in this neighborhood. There is a manor up here, I think. If we were to go back to one of these other spots and look out, a finger reader crone. Usually that is what we see with NPCs that show up on the map before you've reached a certain area. They tend to be finger reader crones. So there's another one not too far away. There's also a telescope here that I see that can let us do some scouting if we decide to start at the, you know, where we left off in the swamp or Liurnia Lake. What else can we see? What are these little carve-outs? These are also octagon-shaped, but they are almost certainly not divine towers. But, like, if I mark this here, this one's pretty close. Could I actually look and see? It's too foggy to see what's going on with that spot. So there's a little spot on the map potentially to explore. Now I am curious. I'm actually thinking that maybe we try to start here and work our way up to this part of the map. Because I have a feeling that might be where we get Liurnia West. That was really a surprise that we got Liurnia North. Obviously, we have Raya Lucaria, which is the main event. But another reason for us to try to get the map here is we have this ultimate goal of a glintstone key, right? Is it under key items or is it under info? Well, first things first. Let's read about Liurnia North. The Academy of Raya Lucaria towers over the north, while at its base spreads the town built around it, now flooded. Two high roads end their journeys here. What we kind of knew already. I think, though, what I'm thinking about is in the info section. Not the knife print clue, but the meeting place map. Simple map found on a corpse. The man it came from surely desired one. The sole means of gaining entry into the academy, a glintstone key. Do we have this on our map as of now? I think not. But hold on. Actually, maybe we do. Maybe it is like one of these here. I could see it being this. Could I equip this if I wanted to? This is not an equipable item, I don't think. We can just come back here and examine it. I feel... Oh, it might even be a little bit closer. It might be... I think it's here. I think this is where we get the glintstone key. I want to mark it with treasure. Since we don't have a key as one of our markers, that's going to have to suffice. I think that's where we find our glintstone key. Okay. Not that I want to make a beeline directly for that. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start back at the lakeshore warp, and we're going to ride the spirit spring up to this high road. Let's find the spirit spring here. That is what we marked. We're going to take this up here because we took care of the business at the Everjail. It feels like I just want to explore from here because I'm curious to see if we can find the rest of the map for Liurnia. And also there is a minor Erdtree in the distance, which is also enticing to get another set of tiers potentially. So let's start from here and see what we find, shall we? Did I hear some laughing just now? I do hear some laughing. These guys. Okay, these guys. Were they... I think we fought these guys in a couple different spots. Now that I think of it, that builds up the bleed very quickly. My goodness. Flail, I guess, is what he's using. Let's go ahead and... Are they... Is that a Lloyd's Talisman effect? What was that effect, actually? It's going to be a death effect very soon here. Hold on. I'd like to use a Whirl Flame. Oh, they just have a, wow, that is a fucking nasty attack. You do not want them jumping on you. You do not want them jumping on you. Okay, let's try magma guillotine. Better. Better. Man, okay, so they jump over my whirl of flame. That's not a great move against them. Not a great move. This move seems to be much better though, because the pool of lava that it leaves behind does the trick. Okay. Sweet. Now, man, those guys felt much tougher than the versions that we've seen before. So I think we saw these guys in two places. One of them was over way long ago over here, I think outside of the cliff bottom catacombs. I think they are in the little ravine that leads down to that dungeon. But I feel like we also met some of them wearing these same outfits in the ruin-strewn precipice. I think. I don't remember them being that tough though. Jesus. Maybe it's just because there was 5 of them, but that was the first time I've seen that jump grab attack, which like instantly bleeds you. Now it could be that my bleed resist is not particularly high with the armor that we're wearing here. We have, let's see. Okay, what affects bleed again? Actually, robustness is supposed to affect that, isn't it? If I go to this and I ask for help, explanation please, and I go down to robustness, blood loss. So the robustness on, just doing a cursory examination here, but it looks like we've got the best robustness we can get. Maybe the banished armor might have more. The banished armor does have 69 robustness, but it's heavier. And I don't want to go heavy load at the moment. So we're rolling with what we've got because the robustness is not bad. We just need to avoid getting grabbed. Just don't get grabbed by the annoying little laughing. I don't know exactly what that fog attack that they were doing, because does it actually make it, we can still drink. It's not a Lloyd's talisman that they're springing on us. So I don't know. Man, the range on that flame sling is definitely, once you get used to lightning bolt, lightning spear, you forget how short ranged the flame sling actually is. It's not as much of a ranged option as you'd like it to be. Is this actually the end of the line, or can we make it through here? One more guy we need to take care of. Can they? I wonder if they can actually grab you on horseback. When you're on horseback, and they actually... Maybe that's a way for us to avoid that jump and grab attack, is just stay on torrent. Trickle heal time. I think I did see a passageway through the rock. Through the rock formation here, but I just wanted to check to the sides to make sure there wasn't anything else I was missing. And I'm double checking now, just to be sure, but I think there should be a way through though. This way. Did I turn on my lantern? That might be the thing that I was, the other little detail that I was forgetting to do. Yeah, this is ambush city here. I really want to use my whirl of flame though. Man, it takes a long time to wind up. Takes a long time, unfortunately, to get it going. Once it does, though, it can hit multiple enemies. Now, does it hit them with a lot of power? Not necessarily. But these guys do not hit the hardest as long as they don't build up the blood loss on you. As long as they're not flailing you to death, they're okay. They're not the craziest to deal with. Should have filled up on my FP first, but forgot to do that. Kukri. Oh, that's just from the corpse. That's not... I thought that was like a loot corpse on the ground. That was there already. Atrina's Lily. The Welcoming Committee. Here in the... Oh, we're still on the... Man, we are... There was still a fair bit of Liurnia, actually, that we did not fully explore. Even that we had... That we still had on the map. They do that jump attack and they knock you off your horse. God damn it. What in the world does that do? What does that do? Okay, the Magma Guillotine, though, is pretty sick against these guys. Magma Guillotine gets it done. So I'm liking that move. Ballista Bolts. I see some Fire Monks in the distance. I do see another Fire Monk camp there. And then everything else is foggy. Which I kind of hate. I know it's part of the environmental dynamics. But I miss it when I'm not able to look out and see all of the things in the distance. Because there is so much to see, and I'm trying still to make sense of the world. The lands between are a mystery that must be solved. And how else can you solve that mystery unless you can see it? All right, Fire Monks. We are fully stocked with fire spells, which is not necessarily what you're ideally supposed to be going with against the Fire Monks. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe they're just as susceptible to Magma Guillotine as everybody else is. It's actually not bad. Actually not bad. Okay, so we did get knocked out of being able to do the second input there. The follow-up input. I like that the pool of magma. He's doing the Whirl of Flame, isn't he? Interesting. We do have the ability to summon here. What do I have on the quick items? We got our trusty Fanged Imp Ashes. I would like to try... We've been doing a lot with Lutel. Why don't we try the Page? It's been a while since we've done the Page. Let's bring in the Page. The Page was fun. And time to give him another shot. And maybe give another shot to Whirl of Flame. Fight fire with fire. It's really not super effective. I really just like this Magma Guillotine, to be honest. And that fire does have the magma pool on the ground. That is a significant amount of damage that gets done. So I'm liking this Magma Guillotine. Maybe you don't need the Magma Guillotine against just the single enemy here. They have lit up the fires here, though. I think we have a Fire Spermy, that's what it's called. Yes, here we go. We're in front of the flames. Come on, Paige. Join in. Fire Spermy. Oh. The page is like, no, I don't. You don't need me anymore. You are done here. I am not a fire. I am not into the no fire spurring for me. There's an item in here. Some dappled cured me. Cool. Page said, I'm out. Okay, what's this key item here? Or more notable item. Fire Monk's Prayerbook. Ooh, it was a key item. And maybe we will be very interested in this. Give to a learned cleric to acquire new incantations. Yes. Gain access to the following: O Flame and Surge O Flame. Dude, the names on these fire spells are just genius. Whirl of Flame, Surge of Flame, Dear Flame. Prayerbook of the Fire Monks, who came from the mountaintops of the giants far to the north. I kind of want to go try these. I want to go try these. Where are we on the map? We're getting close to the portion that needs to be revealed yet. Hold on. Have we gotten close enough to show? We haven't yet got a hint as to where the next map fragment is at, though. So we need to keep pressing forward, which we're going to do. We have cleared out the Fire Monk encampment, and now it is time. Ah, things are clearing up. The fog is clearing. I'm presuming that way up over here is, like, that's got to be Mount Gelmir, right? Like, that has a total, like, Mount Doom feel to it. Fire Mountain, fire giants. There's a part of a structure here, castle or otherwise. But that is more, that is like up here. I was thinking that the manor that Ronnie would be at is like here. We'll go and scout that out again at some point. We'll head back up here to the Finger Reader Crone's lookout spot. Now, where is the minor Erdtree is now out of sight. But I think it's in this direction. Pretty sure it is. Okay. Let me just scout around, make sure that we are not missing anything too notable. Can we see the slumbering wolf's shack, I wonder, from up here at all? Maybe? There's a little bit of a ledge I see down there, potentially. But not that we could access it from here. Just curious if we could see it. He almost got away. He almost got out of reach. Chapel of Anticipation. How are we going to reach the Chapel of Anticipation? Somehow, some way, someday, we will get there. Don't know how, but it will happen. Okay, so nothing too notable along the cliff edge, at least in that direction. What's up here? What is up this way? Gotta be careful. The unexpected gravity deaths do sneak up on me sometimes. Falling with Torrent, I'm wondering if, like, the fall damage you take with Torrent, I thought it might be mitigated by, you know, doing your double jump. Like, you might be able to sort of, you know, fall a bit and then double jump and then reset your fall distance. But I'm wondering if it actually just increases or extends the duration of your fall. And maybe that's why I've been getting some unexpected deaths, is that, oh, there's an arterial leaf. And the bat. There's a big old swing, big old wind-up associated with this great sword. Not enough range. Come back here. Come back here. Anyway, I don't know if I finished my thought, but I had a little bit of a thought about what might be causing those unexpected gravity deaths, but I still don't freaking know. Realistically, I have no idea. And I don't want to know. I will, the details of that stuff are, you know, things that I will learn at a later date. For now, I enjoy the mystery. And perhaps I will manage to figure some things out on my own. Maybe. Probably not. Probably just going to end up dazed and confused. It doesn't look like there is a natural passageway that goes into the rock face here. It looks like we are being funneled downward. Let me just look one more time, but I don't think I found an opening or a crevice like we did at first against the flailing welcome committee. Unless there's like a passage over here somehow, some parkour. Nope, just death. So then what is around this way? Have we uncovered more of the map? Like sometimes you push back the fog enough to where you can see where the map is supposed to be. The map fragment that opens up your visibility to the next section of the map. It just looks like it leads back down to the lake. So, did we come this far? I'm not sure that we explored quite this far. We at one point, we sort of drew a boundary. Or we restricted ourselves from going into the foggy portion of the map. So I don't know if we came exactly to this point in the lake. I remember there being some demi-humans around here somewhere. We're definitely... Oh, now we have entered into, I guess, poison swamp territory. Interesting. The fog is rolling back, but we're still not able to see where the map would be located, which is really curious to me. Okay, there's a big crab there. It does appear that this is poison swamp. Let's just test this out and be sure. Poison. I will... Something I've been meaning to say, that I must give credit where credit is due. As much as Miyazaki has loved his poison swamps, and how much those poison swamps have frustrated me throughout previous Dark Souls games, DS3 in particular really got to me. Fair and Keep was probably my least favorite, definitely my least favorite area in DS3, but also I think one of my least favorite areas overall. But the big problem with Fair and Keep was your mobility was so limited. It wasn't just the poison swamp, but it was that you had to you were like fat rolling your way through the whole dang thing. And it was just such a frustrating experience. It was not fun. So they have really changed that here in Elden Ring. The presence of Torrent completely negating poison when you're making your way through. But also it, you know, even if you are on foot and having to deal with the poison, you don't have to, you're not getting the movement slowing effect, which is great. Okay, crab time. I think there's a big giant crab waiting to pop out here. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Are you really not going to pop out? So, okay, well, if that giant, if we're not going to get that giant crab, if there is not a giant crab waiting underwater there or under the swamp, then we're going to go tussle with this guy. Somebody pay attention to me. Somebody play with me. I want to play. Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. We got our flask back as well. Nice, nice, nice. You do actually have quite a bit, I think. Quite a bit of a delay there in the time that you can... the time that you have to drink a flask and still benefit from the flask refill. So we'll try to be... Something that I noticed while playing on my fresh file, I was able to drink in a lot of cases where I knew that I was going to be getting a flask back. I kind of... Wait, now you show up. Now you show up, you son of a bitch. Okay, so it ticks for about 20 a pop. There was supposed to be a roll there. Cool. We are still getting our trickle heal, which is nice. There was a stinking crab there. I don't know why he didn't pop out before. There is also a scarab out here. Getting all our poison bloom pickups as well. But I was definitely noticing the ability on a fresh file character to benefit from getting your flasks refilled. God damn it. Oh no, fuck me. Ooh, we got a faith. We got a faith Ashavor, Vow of the Indomitable. We'll check that out soon. Gonna try not to die here though. We are poisoned. Let's get back to... Where am I going here? We really got off course. So I'm going to drink. And then we're going to take a bolus, I think. And then we're going to check out... Oh, I forget that we have a little bit of that. Poison was building up there ever so slightly, but I think that's because we rolled around, which is kind of like how it worked in DS2. Let's check our inventory. New items is so cool. Puts it right at the top. Vow of the Indomitable. Oh, it's usable on shields. Oh, well, this isn't for us then, is it? We don't use shields anymore, which is kind of crazy now that I think of it. How many episodes has it been since we last used a shield? Skill of the Ancient Warriors of the Erdtree. Hold shield aloft to imbue yourself with golden power, granting momentary invincibility. I mean, that sounds like that's worth playing around with. Momentary invincibility. I wonder if that would apply to poise. Like, would it not just give you, like, a complete damage negation? How momentary is it, first of all? Does it negate all damage? And is it really... Like, it makes me think of the Paladin bubble in World of Warcraft, where you could basically, like, you know, you could negate all... You would just ignore all enemy attacks altogether. The only problem with the bubble in World of Warcraft is that you couldn't really do anything other than, like, warp away. Bubble hearth. So, have we... Ooh, what is this? What is going on here? I see some corpses that have been strung up. I'm very turned around right now. I'm trying to orient myself. Okay. We're sort of making our way through the lake here. Maybe naturally making our way toward the glintstone key in the process of trying to find where we would be getting the map. At some point here, there's got to be a map, doesn't there? So where am I? Okay, I'm facing toward... This, I do want to head in this direction, so let's do that. Let's, we're going to stay on Torrent for now. We're going to do Flame, grant me strength. And then we're going to go Flame Sling. Oh, I do forget that I can charge the potency on the Flame Sling. Damn it. Damn it. Just when the crab decides to get stuck on a tree. Just when I was waiting for him to come into range. He goes and does that. It's just a crab. It's just a crab. So now, man, it's so easy to get turned around here. So now we're back into a clear water portion of the lake. Where did the poison swamp end? It's right over here. So going back into this direction, going toward the minor Erdtree is just in this direction. Maybe we're not meant to get up on top here. I don't know. It feels like the way this is covered in fog, there has to be a way up. Okay, how do we want to do this? Let me try to backtrack a little bit, and like I was kind of hugging the wall, and then I really got off course. So let me go back to doing that. We're full on flasks. We have all our flasks. There's a crab that's gonna pop out of the water there if I'm not careful. I don't know that I'm gonna go through and clear out every single giant crab, but I want to get back to where I had started this whole excursion and then go from here. Let's hug the wall. Try to explore close to the wall here, and maybe maybe we just go straight for the non-poison, get back onto dry land. Although I see these guys. Oh, they're crabs. Okay, I thought they were those flail guys for a second. There's a bridge up here. Can I target any of these corpses? All right. The thought dawned on me as there was this skull on top of a tree branch. Oh, shit. Village of the Albinaurics. This skull on the tree branch did not feel like it had randomly been put there. I feel like normally when we're exploring the open world, I assume that the skulls that are on the ground are the ones that give us the golden rune ones are just randomly placed, right? This one didn't feel so random. It just happened to be on that tree branch, and I thought maybe that's luring us into a trap. We're gonna go off of horseback and see what we're dealing with here. Hard to get a look. You've got your head kind of twisted underneath you. Oh, and they disappear. Are those the Albinaurics? Oh, do they have like something around their neck? Where's my glowstone at? Where are our glowstones? Here we go. Deploy the glowstone. Well, they're definitely pale, but they look to be much more rotted and hollowed out compared to Liurnia. Liurnia was in pretty good shape compared to this guy. That's for sure. The Albinaurics. I think that's Nepheli Loux. It had the look of an NPC right away. Did not look like the Albinaurics that we had killed already. And then I took a closer look. Looks like Nepheli. Looks like we have finally caught up. How's it going? Okay, we are making some good connections here. This is great. me look at the map one more time. Village of the Albinaurics. We still have not, from what I can see, we have not given ourselves the map fragment clue. It does feel like we're getting to a point where the map should extend to the west. But I don't know. Let's talk to Nefeli. Nefeli?
Oh, it's you. Well, what do you make of it? What's happened to this village? I witnessed a sight much the same in my infancy. The oppression of the weak. Murder and pillage unchecked. A waking nightmare made by men.
I definitely don't know what to make of this village yet. I have not. We haven't even gotten into things. So your guess is as good as mine. Tell me more.
Put this time. I'm a woman grown. And though the suffering cannot be undone, I can still mete out justice. Justice to the oppressors. Let the scars I carve remind them. I am Nefeli Lu, warrior.
Dishing out some retribution to the oppressors.
Put this time. And though the suffering cannot be justice to the oppressors, let the scars I carve remind them. I am Nefeli Lu.
Let the scars I carve remind them. I like it. There is also, I just realized there is a huge pile of corpses in front of you here. You have been hard at work, it seems. Okay. Also, we have the ability to summon. So why don't we get our page involved again here? And I will go ahead and drink because we get our flasks. We get our flasks filled up on the regular. Oh, there's a spirit over here. I don't even know if I should be killing all of you. You are posing zero threat at the moment, but that's the thing. That is, I'm sure that is only going to be temporary. Give any character in Dark Souls long enough, they'll make you regret that mercy that you showed them. Oh, what the hell was that? And all of a sudden, the crew is here. I really like this magma guillotine. I am really starting to love this as another crowd control option. Very cool. Are they do they have pale blood? Sorry, my page is still trying to take out the complement of enemies. It wouldn't surprise me if this is their blood, right? The Albinaurics are supposed to be a pale sort. We get another larval tier. Okay, another soul vessel. I'm not regretting the one that I bought. We might need as many of these as we can get. I'm happy to take another larval tier. Let's just double check the text. I'm assuming it's going to be the same. And it is. Because there's two of them. Cool. 2 options to respec with Renala. Let's get to this site of grace, shall we? And then we will talk to this spirit. Oh, the page. We're going to lose our page here. Just want to establish that checkpoint. That's a nice one. Check our map real quick. Village of the Albinaurics. Okay. Another spirit here with the commoner's garb. And you are... They get stuck in some really funky poses, don't they? This village is done for. This town's finished. Please, even if it's just you, old Albus, hide well and still your breath. Old Albus. Hide well and still your breath. Old Albus. There is a way to go up here. And then there's the bridge that goes somewhere else. Oh, and then there is a bridge up here as well. So this is the direction of the village. Do we have yet? I'm still anxiously awaiting where we're going to be able to uncover the map. This is unusual. Feels very unusual to be covering so much ground without having the map. I had been anticipating. First of all, I had been anticipating that this here, the map fragment that we got at the Academy Gate Town, I thought that was going to uncover this. Where do we get this map fragment? Hello? So I've been thinking about what to do while on break. And I don't think I want to explore the Albinauric village just yet because it is still... We haven't got the map yet. But I'm not sure where we're going to get that. That's the thing that is kind of confusing me. So I think we're going to head across the bridge. Let's just make sure that there's nothing more this way. We've got the Side of Grace. Let's actually sit at the Side of Grace. Just to see. There's no Melina dialogue option. Is there anything else over here? I'm guessing not. I think the bridge is the way forward. There's more poison swamp down below, of course. Let's head across the bridge. All of the Albinaurics have respawned. I was a little worried that we were gonna... that the bridge was gonna get knocked down on us. Is this one of the Albinaurics as well? Just with a sorcery vent? He was waiting at the end of the bridge here very suspiciously. And I thought for a second we might have a bridge that was going to get cut down as we were crossing. There is an item down there in the swamp. Oh, wow. We are already very close to the Erdtree as well as the minor Erdtree, as well as this, the building, the architecture that looks just like the Fringe Tower and Aridus' Rise. And we do get, I think, our first Albinauric blood clot. Let's check it out. By actually going to the inventory. Thick coagulated blood of the Albinaurics. Albinaurics are life forms made by human hands. Thus, many believe them to live impure lives, untouched by the Erdtree's grace. Artificially created life forms. They call them life forms. Can we not get a backstab on them when they are crouched like that? It looks like the answer is no. Let's get our trickle heal going here. They do give away their position a bit with the whispering and lamenting. So there is another guy, well, at least a couple. There's more than one. Nope. Man, Flamesling, I do not remember it being so short-ranged. Don't remember it having such a... Ooh, I almost walked off. Having such a short range. Was it really this bad? There are some crystals, though, over in this direction. Glintstones, perhaps? A crystal sword. I love this recent items menu. So good. This one is, this one does in fact scale with intelligence. Makes sense. Based on the color scheme, at least. I like the intricacy on that. What is the handle of the sword called? I'm always terrible with these terminologies. Sword fashioned from pure crystal, a deed impossible for a human. Enwreathed with powerful magic, its attack scales with intelligence. The inscrutable Crystallians have but one clear purpose, to safeguard their crystals unto the end. One theory posits that they yearn for the return of their creator, who will carve for them new brethren. Maybe that is who we've been seeing. Well, we definitely in the... What was the place over here? The Crystal Tunnel? The Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel, we battled a Crystallian at the end, correct? I just had the thought, I wonder, is it possible that this map here is actually east? Sorry, West Liurnia? Is that what this is? Maybe we do need to go back and scout this out. Not just yet, because I think there is a site of grace in the neighborhood of this other building that we saw. So we're gonna keep going here for now. Crystallians, though. Actually, wait, is there a way down? Maybe we have reached the end of the line. There was not actually a natural path down to the bottom, was there? I'm guessing that these are all... This looked like it was going to lead us down to the ground. Oh, wait, maybe it does. It, I think, does, actually. I didn't realize. Why did I think that that was a farther fall than what it turned out to be? Why did I think that? As per usual, this episode of Elden Ring has involved unexpected twists and turns. That is just par for the course, though. At least unexpected twists and turns in map-related things related to maps. And what those maps reveal. Is this an Ash of War Scarab? I think well, it could be a somber smithing stone scarab. That's the other one. Okay. I haven't noticed exactly the differentiation between the ones that drop Ashes of War and the ones that drop somber smithing stones. I want to get over here and explore this, and I want to get to the Erdtree as well. There's definitely a site of grace by that building. That would be great if we could get there. Could we just... We might be able to fall down this rock formation here, but I think there might also just be a natural path around this way. We are so not close to Raya Lucaria, but we are close to these crystal formations because there are Crystallians in the area. That looks like a Crystallian, doesn't it? Steady there, Torrent. I think that definitely looks like who we fought in the Crystal Tunnel. And it would make sense. We've seen this a number of times now where things like Miranda Blossoms and Rune Bears end up being like the mini bosses at the end of dungeons. And they also happen to be regular enemies out in the world. So we have, I think, we are meeting Crystallians. But I do not really want to explore... I do not really want to venture into this area either just yet. I'm kind of more interested in making my way toward the Erdtree. So let's see if we can do that. I think we're close enough to the ground now where we can just drop on down. And we're going to continue to mostly hug the wall. We're not really close to the wall that we originally were hugging, which is more often this direction. We had to go a very circuitous route to make it around. Or maybe we, you know, maybe we didn't even have to go into the village of the Albinaurics. I could have kept going through the poison swamp. I'm also noticing these crabs. I don't know if I saw this before, but they are quite pale, aren't they? Why can I still not hit you guys, even with a big old magma sword? Why is that so difficult? Why are the crabs so pale? This leads us back into the poison swamp, which we're going to need to explore more thoroughly once we get the map. Is it possible, though? Oh, these guys. We're going to make a run. We're going to make a run for it here and just get to the site of grace. We're not going to fuck around with the puppeteer enemies. Let's just bank the site of grace. And go ahead and rest. Let's rest. Another converted tower. What is it actually? Is it just converted tower? That's it. Converted tower. Erudition guide thee. I have been wondering, or I think I might have even said it out loud, that my my theory regarding the converted fringe tower has been the theory that I've had is there must be some knowledge that is you know, connected between these towers. That what you glean or what you figure out from one or maybe multiple of them is going to in fact illuminate findings at another. Erudition guide thee. Okay, let's get this item. Cuckoo glintstones. Cuckoo glintstones, you say? Lump of broken glintstone and wreathed with magic power, a faux sorcery used by the Knights of Cuckoo. We're not supposed to use one of these here, are we? Cuckoo glintstone. The layout of this tower seems a little different. There is also this part of the ceiling that is just open. How did it, Erudition guide thee. Man. Let's go back to Aridus's Rise. And just look around there again briefly. Was there a message at Aridus's Rise? I think there was, but it was very different. They had this book outside that was like a direct clue regarding the turtles, right? And I have to be off of horseback, looks like, to examine. Yeah, seek 3 wise beasts. That is a much more coherent clue. Oh, it does have this opening back here. Okay. The assets are different. Not as many sorcery cuckoo glintstone assets. And of course there's no ladder. What to make of this? Erudition guide thee. Is there an item that we're supposed to use? Converted tower. and converted fringe tower. So there's no ladder here this time. Are any of these sus statues? I don't know. Confused as always. Erudition. Is there more outside? Is there anything else to find around the edges of the structure here? There is a... Ooh. Can we go up here? Now this feels... Oh. Well, okay, what's this? Ah, interesting. Magic grease. Okay, it felt like we were supposed to be able... This was parkour that's supposed to be within our grasp. It feels like. Maybe not, though. So from here, we could get on the roof, couldn't we? Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just as simple as parkour and getting on the roof. There we go. Okay. Is that erudition? Is the erudition just as simple as you needed to parkour to the right place? Maybe. I don't know that that's going to help us at the converted fringe tower, though. I don't remember there being such an obvious bit of parkour there. That was not the open button. Another memory stone. I had forgotten. Admittedly, I was so laser focused on solving the puzzle that I had momentarily forgotten the reward that we got from Eurydice's Rise. Hell yeah, okay. A bit of a delayed excitement there, but that's good. That is so freaking good. I knew there was a reason why I wanted to get to that site or to this building, because that reward, the potential for that reward is so cool. And as I walk outside, I notice there's another avatar in the distance. All right. Converted avatar? I guess we're taking on an avatar, and this time we will pop a foul foot once we are able to get the victory. But let's do that. We've got no reason not to go for the avatar. I don't think we've got full flasks, and it's just a matter of what we want to use. But I think this this flame grant me strength combined with the magma guillotine is a really nice combo. I like it. Let's get up there. I don't think we still have not... There's still been no erudition or elucidation or any other knowledge that we have gained regarding the jars. The presence of these broken and shattered jars at each of these sites, at each of these Erdtrees where there has been an avatar. It's almost like the avatars are overseeing the destruction of these jars. Why? Why is that the case? Also, I'm going to look again here to see... Man, I actually think... You know what? Okay, we have a warp point now. We have a site of grace that we've established. And I do not see anywhere so far where I would have totally expected at this point, if this were a part of the map that were meant to be uncovered, you know, on its own, and it were not connected all the way up through the western side of Liurnia, I would have expected us to see a clue to where to find that map, which makes me think this is our guy right here. And somehow I had gotten the idea that this was connected to up here. Let's go check it out. Let's go to the East Lucaria gate. That may provide the answers we need. Go scout things out again. And maybe make it daytime. I don't know. It's close to day, right? We're pretty close to day. Close enough. Let's head over here. Maybe we'll kill some birds in the process. I almost jump off the edge. I wanted to kill some birds with style, and I almost paid the price with a silly science death. Okay, I, as usual, getting distracted by something out here, or... Never mind, it's a tree. It's just a tree. I thought that somewhat autumn leaves... The autumn leaves on that tree looked like maybe it was some sort of enemy for a moment. Now, okay, I should have just put a beacon. Should have just put a beacon here. Where is that? It's over here. It is over there. It's not up on... I was thinking... See, look, this looks like a manor to me. This feels like a manor. Maybe. Or a keep. Or maybe a fort. Who the hell knows? Or a castle. Like, there's actually more to this structure that goes up here. This could be just a full-fledged castle. I also see another building here, and here, and here, that all share the architecture of the converted towers. I'm curious to actually go back to the converted fringe tower now. Okay, we're jumping around today, folks. This is a bit of a disjointed adventure today. I think you all understand. This is what happens in Elden Ring. You just get ideas. You get erudition that begins to guide your steps, and you want to go check things out. So we're going to go look around once more just to see. The problem is that with the converted fringe tower, there's a puzzle to be solved. It says specifically you need to solve the puzzle, which makes me think that it's not just a simple task of finding a secret jumping spot. But I just wanted to look again to make sure that I didn't overlook something. There is an elevator inside, I think. And maybe there is an outdoor path. Is it really just a matter of parkour on the outside? And we have to find the right spots of where to parkour? But then why would there be this door? Right? Why would this exist? Why would you have to say you must solve the puzzle to enter? You wouldn't need a glintstone key, would you? May erudition light the way. Let's look around. I don't remember there being some very noticeable bit of jump puzzling that needed to be done. That it felt like that was not how they wanted us to approach this. And that does appear to be the case. There is no obvious onboarding spot. Is there? This wouldn't be it, would it? There might be a silly science death here. I may have a silly science death. Hold on, I need a head start. Ooh. I think I'm just a little too far away. But that's the one spot that does maybe feel like you could potentially grab on. I'm gonna probably take a silly science death here. Oh. Huh. Now the issue is that even if I did grab that ledge, I don't think it gets me anywhere. Unless it gets me up to the roof somehow. Is that really all this is supposed to be? I think we still need more knowledge. We don't have enough erudition yet. This doesn't quite feel like it. Like, there's that part of the roof, but I don't think we're high enough. We're not high enough to get up to the blue part of the roof. And it's also too slanted. We're not supposed to be able to stand on that. We're not there yet. This is not a straightforward jump puzzle. I don't think. I always say that with a little hesitation because I've been known to overlook things and look silly in the process, but I don't think that we are missing out on a spot to just simply jump up like we just had. So, okay, sidetrack to the converted fringe tower. Aside, I think we should go here and try to get the map, because I think that gets us the map to... I'm looking at, this is the delineating, this is the line that we just... This is the line that delineates Liurnia North. I think it makes sense that this would be Liurnia West. And what's, you know, ultimately, if it's not, what's the harm? What are we really... It's not like... I've been sort of treating these with kid gloves. Like, oh, we can't get the map until we are ready to explore that area. You know, if you pick up a map that you don't explore right away, it's fine. What we need to figure out is how we are getting down to the bottom. How are we getting down to make a run for the map? That's the question. Oh. We could jump across here and get that scarab that we marked on the map oh so long ago. And then and then maybe this leads around? Or do we want to go down? Oh, there's a site of grace down there. That's probably where we want to go. Let's find a way down. I mean, we know how to get down ultimately by just running down to where the big poison dudes are. Which we have killed in the past. There's just, there's no shortcut jumping down is what I was looking for, just to save us a little bit of time, but it's fine. We don't have to go very far to make it down here. And I think that is close enough to make the fall. There we go. Liurnia of the Lakes. We are running past you all for now. I will come back and take you out at some point. Just to say I did. But right now, we have a more pressing objective. The other, I meant to make note of this earlier. Let's find out what this is called. The Ravine. Cool. The other thing that is leading me to kind of return to Liurnia, the other thing that has been nudging me in this direction, is the fact that our cookbooks, the only, well, not the only, but one of the gaps in our cookbook knowledge is number 12. And in going back over my, well, by revisiting vendors, I reminded myself that the 11 was from, we got cookbook 11 from this guy at Liurnia Lakeshore, and then we got number 13 way up here at the Bellum Church from this nomadic merchant. So there's a very good chance to me somewhere in Liurnia, who knows where, somewhere is cookbook number 12. And if there is any direction that the game has been providing on what order to do things in, cookbooks are one of those. It's an open world game, as we always continue to say. You don't have to follow the cookbooks by the number. There's no requirement to paint by numbers or cook by numbers. Okay, there is going to be... There's a bit of a rise in elevation that we've got to figure out here. Probably... Maybe we needed to go across. In retrospect, maybe we needed to go across to where this manor or castle is, and then make our way around. Perhaps, or there is just a lower elevation spot where these intersect that we will find down here. That feels like the case. Like it's going to be the case. And indeed it is. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. And is there also a church here, it looks like? Maybe a church or maybe a ruins. Either way, we are getting a map. What zone is it going to be for? It is Liurnia West. Look at that. Liurnia West it is. And look at how the... Wow. This thing is part of Liurnia. It is not connected to the Altus Plateau. Fascinating. So, I mean, maybe that does make more sense, actually, because Princess Rani, it would make a lot more sense if she were connected in the same zone as Renala. And it does really feel now like we have... Oh my god, that uncovered so much of the map. Jesus Christ, that was like the entire lower left of the map. And we now got Liurnia of the Lakes. Is that because we uncovered all of the sections? I admittedly did not look to see if we got this Liurnia of the Lakes, if this was showing on the map here, after we picked up north, before picking up west. I suspect that it was not, but I don't know for sure because I didn't check. I forgot. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Holy moly, we have uncovered some shit. Village of the Albinaurics. But see, this part here is confusing to me because, man, wow. There is another path here somewhere. Maybe from the underground. Maybe somewhere in the Ainsel River well depths. I might be jumping to conclusions. But we ran up here, and we were not able to elevate directly. Where would you... There's a plateau up here. And it has several... This spot here. This spot here. Are these Everjails, or are they connections to the underground? There's something up here, whether it's a church or ruins. And it's not really... Like, this, with the village of the Albinaurics, I think is underneath what is shown here on the map. But we have the converted tower here, and then the minor Erdtree. And then the rest of Liurnia. There we go. Wow. Okay. Some graves maybe to check out here. Lots to explore, obviously. And of course, this might end up being the main attraction, not Rhea Lucaria. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know, at least, is where I want to start for now is to go back to, well, first, cover our bases and check out the description. The majority of Liurnia, known for its vast forests and ever-present fog, is sinking into a lake. The western coast has always been closely associated with Carian royalty. Makes sense. Key items is where maps are. It is pretty hyped that we have a third memory stone now. Let's go. West, east... Fascinating. My instinct is definitely to explore west. Explore the western portion first. And then Rhea Lucaria last, followed by the manor in the north last. That's my initial gut reaction as to where I want to be spending my time exploring, but we will see exactly how it goes. Let's start, though, by taking on an avatar. Let's at least start there. Maybe we'll scout around the Erdtree just a little bit. See if there's anything interesting to find before we take on... I noticed there was a guardian here. I think these are called guardians, right? But, this guy's just chilling. Wasn't the first one that we found on the other side of Liurnia, wasn't he doing like some sort of a dance or chant or something that the followers were going along with? Okay, I'm not noticing anything significant that is going to keep me from just jumping into action here against the Avatar. Let's get our Flask of Wondrous Physic, our Blessing Spoon, and we'll get close enough to get our Flame Grant Me Strength. And then it is game time. Game on. Definitely have to do some face tanking sometimes with this Magma Guillotine, but it is worth. That's not face tanking, that's just doing a bad roll. That second swing doesn't seem to get us very far. Forgot how much ground you can cover. So it's kind of better for us to go with just the one guillotine, I think. Because we're doing a shit ton of damage. Doing a shit ton of damage. I forgot to do the golden pickled foul foot, and because I forgot to do that, by the time that I would have gone to the menu and popped the golden foul foot, I would have not gotten the proc. I don't think. I was distracted by he got the beams of light off at the end, which is unfortunate. I missed out on some value for runes there. It's fine. We get ourselves a Cerulean Crystal Tear, and we get a Ruptured Crystal Tear. No idea what those do. Let's find out. Causes concoction to explode in mixed physic. What? A defective crystal tear which possesses absolutely no medicinal qualities. A lesson said to be learned the hard way for some. Faith can be a volatile matter after all. What? Admittedly, probably just because we were there a moment ago, my mind wonders about the converted Fringe Tower. May erudition light the way. I don't know that there are enough a lesson said to be learned the hard way for some. Does that count as erudition, a lesson? I'm looking for like these little verbal clues to connect the dots on what we're looking for to solve the puzzle. And if it solves no, or it serves absolutely no medicinal qualities, maybe are we supposed to turn into... We'll give this a try. when we get back to the Site of Grace. Are we supposed to turn into a... We're supposed to do our own version of the suicide explodey boys? Cerulean Crystal Tier. The resulting concoction restores half of one's maximum FP. Of course. Okay. Okay. We are a very spell-heavy build. Could potentially come in handy, but I feel like this one's going to be pretty low on the tier list. Oh my god. The tier list. Totally don't blame you if you decide to unsubscribe, unfollow, unwatch after... Oi, the tier list, he says. Let's go pick up some sunflowers. Oh, there's a guardian that took some collateral damage. Let's go pick up some sunflowers and try to feel better about our verbal choices. Okay, we have uncovered, though, all of... Wow. We had to go through 2 maps, but we did, in fact, uncovered all of the Liurnia. All of Liurnia has been uncovered. Feels okay. The question is, from here, where do we go? I think we might go back to the Albinaurics and do a little bit of scouting there. Whoops. Do a little bit of scouting there. I did forget that I can charge this Whirl of Flame. I sort of forgot that that was an option. We might go back, though, to the village and scout around, because maybe there is a way up to the top of this plateau that I do not see right now, but there is a, looks like a church up there. Oh, and I see one of these star dials. Should we call them that? One of those half-crescent star dials that we know are connected with Radon. Or in my mind, they're connected with Radon, simply because we saw the biggest one of all at the Radon Festival, and they always have those little whatchamacallums, the stardust or something that you loot. I forgot to turn back on my lantern. Cool, though. We got some new tier options. We've got a new memory slot. This is good stuff. Good business. Even if my flame sling is not getting the job done like it used to. Flame sling, how far have you fallen? You used to be my trusty... It was really the only option, let's be honest. In the like earliest stages of the game, there was literally nothing else for a poor incantation spellcaster to check out. You know what I just realized? You know what I just freaking realized? Holy crap. We have stuff back at the... we have stuff back at the hold. Because we have this... This is a good spot for us to head back to the Round Table hold. Please take me to the Round Table hold. Because... I forgot we got a scroll. Or is it a prayer book? It's a prayer book, right? And we already read it. Recent items. Wow, it's already so far down the list. The Fire Monk's Prayer Book, exactly. The mountaintops of the giants far to the north. We have 2 new spells to try out.
Ah, I have been waiting for your return. I've decided to leave the Round Table hold.
Oh, shit!
I'm off in search of a noble scholar known as the Gold Mask.
Oh.
To beg his instruction. We may not meet again for some time. If there's any incantations you wish to learn, now's the moment.
Holy shit. Well, what do you know? What timing, Brother Corin? Now, maybe we have precipitated this by finding this prayer book. Who knows exactly what has spurred you into action, although it doesn't sound like you're never coming back. You did say you're just going to be gone for some time. and you are maybe bringing a new friend or a new NPC back to the hold. One of the other NPCs that was mentioned in the opening cutscene. Gold Mask. One of our tarnished brethren. Well, we're of course giving this prayer book to you.
That is a work of heresy.
Even though I knew you weren't going to like it.
Incantations bear no lineage from the Erdtree.
Yeah, get over it, dude.
Very well. I'll take it off your hands.
Get over it. You're the incantations guy. There's just no way around it. Aha! Okay, we have the greater combustion. We sort of had this spoiled with our wonky icons last episode. That this was in existence somewhere. Little did I know how soon we were going to have access to it. Gimme the O Flame. Let's read the description here. How similar is it to Catch Flame? It is a bit different. Momentarily sparks roaring flame from the caster's hand. Charging enhances potency. Okay, so it's not quite the same as the Catch Flame, which is more about casting it after a roll or other action without delay. This one is about charging. The giant's flame still smolders upon the distant northern mountaintop, and the fire monks are its guardians. The giant's flame, dear flame. It's not dear flame in this case, though. It's O Flame. We're all about that O Flame. Surge of Flame. Superior incantation of the fire monks, as opposed to just the regular old incantation of the fire monks, creates a stream of fire to burn the area before the caster. This incantation can be cast while in motion. Hold to maintain the effect. This, I think, is maybe what I thought that the Whirl of Flame was going to be. And I'm hoping that this is going to be the spell that I end up gravitating toward. It is interesting that the faith requirements are so low on both of these. Means maybe we should have had them a while ago. The Giant's Flame is the flame of ruin, capable of burning the Erdtree. Oh no. Don't do that. Or do? We don't know for sure if the Erdtree is good or not. In Dark Souls, it's usually not so clear-cut as to what is good and what is not. And we know that the Golden Order, or the Grace, is faded. The age of the Erdtree has definitely seen better days. And so, following the war against the giants, its ruinous blaze was sealed, and guardians were appointed to watch over it. Give me that one too. And we're going to just put both of these on the bar. And I guess then we are bidding farewell to Brother Corrin, at least for the moment.
May the Golden Order shine through you.
Let's just see if he has any more dialogue. He might just repeat what he said before.
Further study of incantations, is it?
Or he just
I
goes...
can happily spare the time and applaud your enthusiasm.
Goes back to the default. Okay. Okay.
May the Golden Order shine through you.
Brother Corrin, we thank you very much for your service in furthering of incantations. As I sit to memorize some new spells, I believe Brother Corrin, on his way out, just was fed up with that chair. Out of my game, freaking chair. Till we meet again, Brother Corrin. In the meantime, I am putting on some new spells. Whirl of Flame is going to get replaced by the Surge of Flame, and Flame Sling is going to get replaced by O Flame. I have 5 slots that I could use. We could put one of the other fire spells here as a backup. If we're still, you know, mainly staying fire mode, maybe I will put Dragon Claw. I'll bring back Lightning Spear. Lightning Spear can come back to the fold, because having that, it's got a nice bit of range, and sometimes you just want to be able to snipe or kite some enemy that is part of a pack or something like that. And we don't know yet what the range is going to be on Surge of Flame. We could probably find out real quick in our little testing ground. Let's do that, actually. Let's find out. We might also do an NPC sweep real quick, or at least a couple. Sample a couple of the NPCs to see if there's any other changes besides Brother Corrin. Oh, Flame. What you got for me? All right. That sure does look like a greater combustion. There's the uncharged version. There is the charged version. It looks like there is a bit more width. And is there also... forward length? Is there a... I think I think there is both a greater width and depth of the attack that you get with charging. So it would seem. Surge of Flame. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It still doesn't go like it's not going super far in front, but it does last for a while, and it is a way for us. You can efficiently spend your mana all the way down. I'll be curious to see how that plays in combat. How much damage it does in particular. That's really... Boy, it's so strange now, having this part of the map opened up. The Table of Lost Grace feels so different when there's these clouds behind it. Now... of course. Another little funky thing with our UI from last time that happened was every single site of Grace was looking like the Table of Lost Grace. Which I did think, I thought was a pretty weird change for them to do, because it made all the sites of Grace harder to see. But it seems like that was just a glitch. Pretty clearly just a glitch. Let's look around just a little bit. See what else may have changed at the hold. I don't think we're going to get new dialogue from the finger reader until we take down another demigod, I would presume. And then any of you guys, you're still probably on about Dung Eater?
Are you here for spirit?
Yeah. Do I have any? I don't have the glove wart needed to upgrade either of these. Hugh. Did we have something with Hugh?
I took you for no matter. Lay out your arms.
What was the thing? Oh, right. Let's take a look. Let's spend a little time looking at... We obviously know now that we can do this Ash of War duplication. We have 1 Lost Ashes of War. And I would presume we were going to get more. And my idea was to copy this Sacred Blade. But what we should do is look first to see... Let's look at the actual Ashes of War. We don't have our Uchikatanas equipped at the moment, but let's go to them and see what it would look like if we did apply. Oh, interesting. The fire scaling is not... It does not give us a faith... I should say the fire affinity. Flaming fire affinity, whatever it is, it does give you fire damage on your weapon, but the scaling that is enhanced is your strength scaling, and the dex scaling is diminished. It is not like the 2 sacred incantations, Ashes of War, that add sacred affinities. The sacred affinity is what gives you that faith scaling. So maybe we would not want to go fire. Not go fire on that second Uchikatana. Just leave that as... You could just leave the second Uchi as it is, so you have the access to unsheathe. And then you could apply fire grease, right? You could put fire grease, you could put blood grease, whatever you want. Lightning grease. All the different greases, depending on the situation. You'd have to have it in the right hand... And then the things get tricky with, like, if you have the second Uchi in the left hand. Let's actually read the text on... I don't know if we actually read the text on the Lost Ashes of War. Have we done that? Is it bolstering materials or key items? Key items, probably. There it is. Empty Ashes of War, devoid of any memories of battle. Unable to apply... any kind of affinity in their current state, but can be used by Smithing Master Hugo of the Round Table to recreate other ashes. Thus, does the copy pass into becoming the genuine article? That might be what we do next time. I don't know. I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun jumping between different weapons. I've really liked this Magma Guillotine. I don't remember this being here. This table with the swords. The General Radahn's swords. These assets that we saw out at Redmane Castle. The stars. Who set up shop in here? Master Hugh, huh? He's been expanding his stockpile area. This area is just open now, though. Let's go talk to Dung Eater again. Or, well, first let's make sure there's nobody that has taken up residence where Fia used to be. I'm a little sad that we are now missing out on Baldekin's blessings, because I actually kind of wanted to maybe give those a try. Start experimenting more with those, and the casting of a big spell like Dragonfire. But looks like we're not going to get to do that anymore. We're not going to get to do that anymore, I don't think. Gideon wouldn't have anything new, would he? Although we did talk to Nephili, so maybe?
You.
Doesn't look like it. Nothing new. Nothing new from Gideon. Nephili, we maybe need to make a little more progress with whatever we do with her out in the village of the Albinaurics.
I asked you not to disturb. Be thankful of the halter. It is all the key.
Yeah, okay. Nothing new from the folks here other than Corin. So I think that is where we will wrap up this installment of Elden Ring. Some really cool stuff. And man, have the options opened up in Liurnia. Well, they've been there. The options have been there, but now we can see them. We can see the options. I want to check out the telescope. I want to, like, we're very close to finding the glintstone key, right? We could make that a main objective. Try to actually make it in Raya Lucaria, because now maybe Raya Lucaria is not the centerpiece in terms of getting a great rune. Although, Renala is supposed to have a great rune in her egg, correct? Where are we getting the next great rune from? Is it there, or are we getting it here where Ronnie is? Let me just review one more time Roger's dialogue.
Always good to see you safe. So,
Ronnie's
if
whereabouts.
Princess Rani truly is the one, then she should bear the curse mark of destined death. So would you be willing to procure it for me? She may have returned to the manor that is her home, the royal Carian residence to the north of the Academy of Raya Lucaria.
It's got to be where she is. But that's not clear from his dialogue there whether she has a great rune. I don't remember if that was part of his original exposition. So I don't know exactly where we're finding a great rune, if it's going to be at Raya Lucaria, or if it's going to be at the royal Carian residence. Either way, we're going to be checking out both those places. Probably one of those places has whatever we need to get through the Carian study hall. It would make sense if it were the royal Carian residence. There is so much to explore. We've got the mystery with the mausoleum here still. So much. This academy gate down. We haven't checked with the finger reader crone yet. There's giant lobsters out here to murder us. Oh my gosh. It's times like this where I do... Part of me as I'm at the end of a session, so I'm a little bit tired, but I feel so overwhelmed at points like this. And I'm like, how are we ever going to do all this? You just do it one small step at a time. Probably where we'll pick up next time is the village of the Albinaurics and maybe start somehow working our way northward. We'll see. We will see how it goes. Either way, it is going to be a blast, as it always is. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.